Welcome to the Frei solo podcast, where we dig a little bit deeper into topics that I'm a huge fan of. Today, we're talking about the elevator pitch. The elevator pitch is probably the thing you say the most as a startup founder. If you have a great elevator pitch, it will help you down the road a lot. Why? Because it doesn't matter if you're pitching to potential customers or investors or journalists. If you have a great elevator pitch, people will write about you, they will book your offering, they will invest in your company. An elevator pitch can't be too long. Being now an investor where I invest sometimes in startups, I ask them, what do you do? And often the mistake that founders do is their elevator pitch is way too long. They start talking 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. Why? Because first, they didn't learn how to make it short and sweet. And the second thing is they are afraid that their product is too small and they want to make it artificially bigger and they just add things. People start losing attention and then you start losing them. So it's very important that you nail your elevator pitch. Short break from our podcast sponsor, Relay. I've been using Relay recently for my automatic Bitcoin savings plan. I invest 50 francs a week into Bitcoin via Relay. Why? Because Relay is the easiest way to buy Bitcoin here in Switzerland. You can buy it via bank transfer, credit card, or Apple Pay. And Relay is Bitcoin only, so no other coins. I got rid of all my other coins. I have Bitcoin only. And the most important thing is it's self-custody. You know, not your keys, not your coin. With Relay, you have your keys, so therefore, these are your coins. Use the code Alan to get 10% discount on your fees. Discount code Alan, A-L-A-N. You will find the link in the description. And what's very, very important, be very, very careful with your investments. It's your hard-earned money, so think about where you're going to invest, what you're going to invest, and how much you're going to invest. This is not financial advice, so be really careful. And now let's go back to the episode. The framework I have for my elevator pitch is that I try to do something in the very beginning that is surprising, something that people stick to it for a second longer than normally. You need to cut through the small talk very quickly because people hear so many pitches or so much small talk. And if you start cutting through something with something interesting, something unexpected, they will stay and their brain will tell them, oh, this is interesting. The second part of the elevator pitch is very important too, that you try to generate a lot of yeses in the brain of the people you are talking to. People do an elevator pitch where they are over exaggerating what they can do. For example, they say, all of Europe will be our customers. And the first thing what will happen with potential investors are they're like, no, probably not. Or they start, we want to just have one small fraction of the Chinese market. People are like already, oh, you know, they stop listening what you're going to say. You created a no in their head. These are the two things that are very important. You want to cut through the normal stuff. You want to create something interesting. And the second part is you don't want to create too many no's in the brain of the investors. If you follow these two rules, then you move into the third phase where you are having a conversation where you can explain a bit more in depth and you having a discussion and maybe you explain a little bit more. But in the elevator pitch, you don't want to do that yet. It's just after the elevator pitch. What's also very important is often there are 2 or 3 founders. And I ask the founders, so what do you do? I ask them one by one. And often they don't have the same elevator pitch. The elevator pitch is something that everybody in the company needs to know. So if somebody gets asked, obviously they can have their personal twist to it, that it's just not too monotone, but it needs to go in the same direction. What helped me with the elevator pitch, if you start, is you start with, we are helping people to do X, Y, Z. If you're unexperienced, this is a way to start your elevator pitch very easily. If you have bookkeeping tool, instead of saying we are helping people optimize our bookkeeping, you can say, for example, we help startups not to go in jail. So in that second, everybody is already, oh, what's happening here? I want to hear what they're doing. And then you will say, we created this AI bookkeeping tool where we help startups optimize, especially in the beginning. We give them the high-end service they would have with a CFO, but we do it with the AI. Another example I have, if you have a AI tax optimization software or platform. So what you say is, we are helping people save up to $5,000 on average because we optimize their taxes with AI. And then you add something like, we started 3 months ago. We have now 20 customers. So, if it's only little, that's also okay, but they're super happy with our service and we have a high retention rate. And then you move into the discussion where you talk about it, but the elevator pitch can be 2 sentences or 3 sentences. Improve and test your elevator pitch a lot. And it needs to be short, it needs to be interesting, and you don't want to generate too many no's in the head of the investors. And this is something you can work on, very simple. If you have a pitch, you can send it to me through LinkedIn and I will look at it. Send me a voice message and I will feedback it to you. Working on your elevator pitch is one of the most important skills as an entrepreneur. Why? Because you're pitching to potential customers, pitching to potential investors, and you're pitching to potential journalists. So always have your elevator pitch ready.